So we move on to Roosevelt, Long Island, the home of Dr. J, Eddie Murphy, and the Bomb Squad and Public Enemy. Keith, you guys had a DJ crew out there. Talk a little bit about that.
We're Spectrum. But let me bring this back. Y'all got mad stories. I gotta take 4 hours telling my shit.
Well,
we all started from, y'all know, WWRL. So I'm gonna go back to why we started a DJ kind of program in our Roosevelt Youth Center. My neighbor Crandon Newton wanted to do, and my man Crandon used to do a lot of butt sketch for Jimmy Kimmel. He'd be on the Jimmy Kimmel show. But he wanted to build a program in our youth center for us to have something to do on Long Island. Now, do you understand Long Island? Yeah, we're suburbs, you know, it's racially divided, but a lot of people from Long Island migrated from the city to Long Island. My mother was born in Harlem, so she migrated to Long Island so we can have a better life. I guess, I don't say a better life, a different life than my family that lived in Harlem. So having that, and my neighbor decided to have this program in our youth center to have us DJ in our youth center was like my beginning. And it was inspired by the likes of Hank Span, Jerry Bledsoe, Frankie Crocker was on there, and all this WWRL was the only black radio station that was on AM radio. And all of us got that shit. All of us came from that era. And having that was our inspiration. So growing up on Long Island, it's so mad segregated, but we ain't gonna get into that. That became our thing. We didn't know what they was doing in the Bronx, but I have family that lived in the Bronx. I always tell this story that my cousin used to, and I'm gonna bring Flash into this, that my cousin used to say, because my cousin lived in the South Bronx, my cousin Tyrone. And the first time when we was DJing, this is like later on, I'll say like maybe 77, 76, 77, he used to say like, and by that time, me and my brother and our local guys at our youth center was always doing shit. And this is where the S1Ws was born, out of our youth center. So I got a crazy story. So we had a martial arts program in our youth center. So Professor Griff and some of the S1s, before they knew each other, used to take martial arts. So that's how the S1W was born. So within that, we still had our radio station, and we used to throw like $2 bus stop parties down in the basement of our youth center. Bus stop, fat back then. That's why we call them bus stop parties. Y'all all know what the fuck I'm talking about. So within that, and as we grew, we decided to take this to another level, which was my brother. And Long Island, there's a thing with our youth center. We was all connected to every like town and youth center in Long Island, like the major areas where all the black people live, were like Hempstead, Roosevelt, Rockville Center, and then we would be their main DJ. So my brother decided to figure out, by doing all these DJ parties with them, we had to come up with a name called Spectrum. So from having Spectrum back in 75, now like I said, I never knew what was going on in the Bronx, but I'm gonna go back to my cousin that lived there in South Bronx. He used to come out to Long Island and say like, yo, there's this DJ that's getting down, and he called himself Kid Flash. He would DJ with 13 turntables. And I would be like, ain't nobody DJ with no goddamn 13 turntables. Tyrone, you fucking lying. So the problem was, when Flash invented the quick mix that nobody really saw, it felt like he had 13 turntables. So this is my experience, and I can go deep into this where Red, J, D, Theodore became our inspiration. We always wanted to be like the city, but because we was from Long Island, they just thought we were soft. But these guys was my inspiration, and I can't take that away because I don't want to go on. I can go on forever, on how these men inspired me, Hank, Chuck, Griffin, Flav on what we accomplished. And without that, I don't think, you know, we would have what we have today on Long Island. And we wasn't just a bunch of rich kids with grass and houses and not stacked up on top of each other.
Well, Roosevelt is not exactly Glen Clove.
No, it's definitely not.